Most parents don't realize that some of their most well-intentioned daily habits are quietly interfering with their child's brain development in ways that can affect emotional resilience, creativity, and independence for years to come. These aren't obvious mistakes. They're common practices that feel loving and protective in the moment. But neuroscience shows that certain patterns, when repeated throughout early childhood, can actually prevent the very growth and confidence we're trying to nurture. The critical window for changing these patterns is narrower than most parents think, which is why understanding what's happening and adjusting now matters so profoundly. If you're a parent of a young child and you want to ensure you're supporting their development rather than accidentally undermining it, stay with me. We're going to walk through 5 specific habits that research flags as potentially harmful, why they feel so natural to loving parents, and what you can do differently starting today. The first habit is overstimulating play environments. Many parents believe that providing abundant toys, constant activities, and continuous entertainment supports learning and development. The intention is beautiful. You want to give your child every opportunity to explore, discover, and grow. But research in developmental psychology shows that when children are surrounded by too many toys and too much sensory input, their brains actually engage less deeply with any single activity. Neuroscience tells us that creativity and focused attention develop when children have the space and time to engage deeply with simple materials. When a play environment is overstimulated with dozens of toys, flashing lights, sounds, and constant novelty, the child's brain shifts into a mode of rapid switching rather than sustained exploration. They move from toy to toy without developing the focused attention and imaginative engagement that builds cognitive capacity. Studies have found that children with fewer toys actually play more creatively and for longer periods. Their brains have the opportunity to discover multiple ways to use the same object, to create narratives, to problem solve when they can't simply reach for a different toy. The constant stimulation we think is enriching is often preventing the kind of deep, imaginative play that truly supports brain development. What to do instead is create a simpler play environment. Rotate toys so only a small selection is available at any time. Choose open-ended materials like blocks, fabric, simple figures, and household objects that can be used in multiple ways. Give your child long stretches of uninterrupted time with these simple materials and resist the urge to constantly introduce new stimulation. Watch how their play deepens when the environment allows for sustained focus rather than constant switching. The second habit is constant reassurance. When children express worry or fear, the natural parental instinct is to immediately reassure them that everything is fine, that there's nothing to worry about, that they're completely safe. This feels like comfort and support. But developmental psychology finds that excessive reassurance can actually increase anxiety over time, rather than reducing it. Here's what happens in the child's developing brain. When they feel anxious and you immediately provide reassurance, their brain learns that anxiety is something that requires external intervention to manage. They don't develop their own internal capacity to tolerate uncertainty or work through worried feelings. Instead, they become dependent on others to tell them whether situations are safe or manageable. Research shows that children who receive constant reassurance often develop more severe anxiety because they've learned their own assessment cannot be trusted and that anxious feelings are emergencies requiring immediate external management. The reassurance provides temporary relief, but prevents the development of genuine emotional resilience. What to do instead is acknowledge the feeling without immediately trying to eliminate it. When your child expresses worry, you can say something like, "I hear that feels scary to you," or, "You're feeling worried right now." You validate the emotion as real without rushing to fix it or convince them it's wrong. Then you stay present with calm energy while they sit with the uncomfortable feeling for a brief time. This teaches their brain that worry is tolerable, that they have some capacity to manage it, and that feelings naturally shift without requiring constant external reassurance. The third habit is overprotecting children from discomfort or challenge. Parents naturally want to shield their children from pain, frustration, disappointment, and struggle. We intervene before they fail. We smooth the path ahead of them. We rescue them from situations that might cause temporary distress. This feels like love and good parenting, but neuroscience shows that emotional resilience develops specifically through experiences of encountering manageable difficulty and discovering you can survive it. When we prevent all discomfort, we prevent the neural pathways for resilience, problem solving, and distress tolerance from forming. The child's brain never learns that struggle is temporary, that failure is survivable, or that they have internal resources for managing challenge. From a developmental perspective, children need age-appropriate exposure to frustration, disappointment, and difficulty with supportive adults nearby but not immediately rescuing. This is how the brain builds confidence and emotional strength. Overprotection creates the opposite effect. It teaches children that discomfort is dangerous and that they cannot handle challenge without adult intervention. What to do instead is allow your child to encounter natural consequences and manageable struggles while you remain calmly available nearby. If they're working on a puzzle and getting frustrated, resist the urge to immediately help. Give them time to struggle, to try different approaches, to experience the frustration and discover they can tolerate it. If they're disappointed about something, don't rush to fix the situation or distract them from the feeling. Let them experience disappointment with your supportive presence. This builds genuine resilience far more effectively than protection ever could. The fourth habit is overscheduling children's time with constant structured activities. Many parents believe that filling their child's schedule with classes, lessons, and organized activities provides enrichment and opportunity. The intention is to give your child advantages and expose them to diverse experiences. But research in child development shows that unstructured free play is essential for emotional growth, creativity, and self-regulation in ways that structured activities cannot replace. Neuroscience tells us that during unstructured play, children's brains engage in critical developmental work. They practice self-direction, imagination, emotional processing, and social negotiation. They learn to generate their own ideas, manage their own time, and create meaning from open-ended situations. When every hour is scheduled with adult-directed activities, children lose the opportunity for this essential developmental work. Studies have found that children with more unstructured playtime show better executive function, stronger creativity, lower anxiety, and better emotional regulation than children whose time is heavily scheduled. The brain needs space to wander, to imagine, to create without external structure or adult direction. Overscheduling, despite good intentions, can actually hinder the very development we're hoping to support. What to do instead is protect significant portions of your child's day and week for unstructured, child-directed play. This doesn't mean doing nothing. It means time where your child decides what to do, how to do it, and for how long without adult instruction or structured curriculum. Outdoor time, time with simple materials, time with peers where they navigate their own play without adult management. This unstructured time is not wasted. It's when some of the most important brain development occurs. The fifth habit is excessive praise. Many parents have learned that praise builds self-esteem and confidence, so they praise frequently and enthusiastically for almost everything their child does. Good job becomes an automatic response. Every drawing gets lavish praise. Every small action receives celebration. This feels positive and encouraging. But research in developmental psychology shows that excessive praise can actually damage intrinsic motivation and create fragile self-esteem. When children receive constant praise for everything, their brains learn to perform for external approval rather than for internal satisfaction. They become dependent on others' evaluation to know if their efforts are worthwhile. When praise isn't present, they doubt the value of what they're doing. Neuroscience finds that genuine confidence comes from internal recognition of effort, growth, and challenge overcome, not from external validation. Children who are praised constantly often become praise-dependent, afraid of failure because it means losing approval, and less willing to take risks or try difficult things where success isn't guaranteed. What to do instead is describe what you see without evaluation. Instead of "good job on that drawing," say "you used a lot of blue in this picture," or "you worked on that for a long time." You're drawing their attention to their own effort and choices without making your approval the focus. When they accomplish something genuinely challenging, you can acknowledge the specific effort. You kept trying even when that was difficult. This builds confidence rooted in their own capability rather than in others' praise. Here's what these 5 habits have in common. They all come from love and the desire to support your child. But they all involve doing for the child what the child's developing brain actually needs to practice doing for themselves. Overstimulation prevents deep engagement. Constant reassurance prevents emotional resilience. Overprotection prevents confidence through challenge. Overscheduling prevents self-direction. Excessive praise prevents intrinsic motivation. The pattern that truly supports development is different than what our culture often teaches. It involves providing less, not more. Simpler environments, fewer interventions, more space for struggle, more time for self-direction, less external evaluation. This feels counterintuitive because we've been taught that good parenting means constant enrichment, protection, and encouragement. But the developing brain needs something else. It needs opportunities to engage deeply, to manage emotions independently, to encounter and overcome challenge, to direct its own exploration, and to find satisfaction from within rather than from constant external approval. When we provide these opportunities, even though it feels like we're doing less, we're actually supporting development far more effectively. You don't need to change everything at once. Choose one habit that resonates most strongly with your situation. Start making small adjustments. Notice how your child responds. Trust that providing space for development serves them better than filling every moment with your intervention, protection, or praise. Your child's brain is designed to grow through experience, challenge, and self-directed exploration. Your role is not to prevent all difficulty or constantly direct their development. Your role is to provide a safe foundation from which they can venture out, struggle, discover, and return. To be present and supportive without being constantly intervening. To trust the developmental process rather than trying to control every outcome. If this information helps you see your parenting patterns in a new light, consider sharing it with other parents who might benefit. And stay here for more science-based guidance on supporting your child's development in ways that truly build the resilience, creativity, and confidence we all want for our children.